enormously complex, interrelated organism. The way the world actually is an enormously complex, interrelated organism. The same problem arises in medicine, because the body is a very complexly interrelated organism. And if you look at the body in a superficial way, you may see there's something wrong with it. Here's chickenpox, and there's spots that itch. You might say, well, spots are there, cut them off. So you kill the bug. Well, then you find you've got a real problem, because you have to introduce some bugs to kill the bug. It's like bringing rabbits into Australia. And that starts going all over the place and getting out of this. But then you think, well, now wait a minute. It wasn't the bugs in the blood. There are bugs all over the place. What was wrong with this person? That his blood system suddenly became vulnerable to those particular bugs. His resistance wasn't up. Therefore, what you should have given was not an antibiotic, but vitamins. Okay, so we're going to build up his resistance. But resistance to what? You may build up resistance to this and this and this class of bugs, but then there's another one that loves that situation. It comes right in. The way the world actually is an enormously complex, interrelated organism. The way the world actually is an enormously complex, interrelated organism. See, we always look at the human being medically in bits and pieces, because we have heart specialists, lung specialists, bone specialists, nerve specialists, and so on. And so on. And they each see the human being from their point of view. There are a few generalists, but they realize the human body is so complicated that no one mind can understand it. And furthermore, supposing we do succeed in healing all these people of their diseases, what do we then do about the population problem? I mean, we've stopped cholera, the black bubonic plague, we're getting the better of tuberculosis, we may fix cancer and heart disease. Then what will people die of? Well, then let's go on living. There'll be enormous quantities of it. Then we have to fix this birth thing. Pills for everybody. Then we find, what are the effects, the side effects of those pills? What are the psychological effects upon men and women of not breeding children in the usual way? We don't know. 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 The way the world actually is an enormously complex, interrelated organism. The way the world actually is an enormously complex, interrelated organism.
Akira.
Good God.
He's got clout.
And what seems a good thing today turns out tomorrow to have been a disaster. What seemed in the moral and spiritual sphere too, like great virtues in times past, are easily seen today as hideous.
I know.
Let's take, for example, the Inquisition.
I know, Sky Knight. Listen, man, this poster here was made a very long time ago when things were different.
You see, you feel that
Got so much happening, I can't keep up.
anything is justified. The most complex operation, the most weird surgery.
Let's go and find a little bit of Air Wing Marine. But good morning, good almost afternoon where I'm at, wherever you are. You guys are on the East Coast of the United States. I know you're expecting snow, and maybe you're already getting it. I'm not sure how the weather works. I know this weekend coming up, that's when we're going to get hit. So, part of me is looking forward to it, but as well as that, being a working adult here, I got bills to pay. So if the snow screws that up, I am sad. I'm a sad person. But hey, that's neither here nor there. Good morning. Good morning, people. So let's go. Took profit on the BTC short. I am not taking profit. There's so much more for me to have. And I'm a greedy boy. So, we'll talk about that as well today. Things are working out in terms of the short position on BTC. On my private account here, pull that up. Currently up 200% on margin. Like I said, the margin's nothing insane, but good to see. My entry price was 94,501. I was using liquidation as stop loss, so my liquidation was 97,000. So everything worked out, and we are now headed to the downside. You love to see it. Prathish, what's going on, man? How you doing today? Constantine. Hello, how you? Misa. Hello. Said, how's the weather been? Been asked for the past week and a half. Crazy snowstorms. We haven't gotten a snowstorm yet. It's just been kind of cold and windy. And that's, to me, worse. Because, like, if there's no point for it to be cold and windy, aka snow or something like that, oh, it just feels so bad. But it says that on Sunday, we're supposed to get 19 to 24 inches. I'm hoping not, to be honest with you. That's a whole lot. I'm a kind of like a 5 to 6 inches type man, if you know what I'm saying. All right. So can we not get, snow that makes me so I can't even get DoorDash at that point, unless my DoorDasher's got a snowmobile. Which honestly, if that's the case, that DoorDasher would make so much money. He said, how much is the risk now? The risk is the same. I'm not going to move my stop loss. You're just talking about a number. Like I said, that's my private account. I'm not going to go too much into detail. I'm just going to give you entries when I exit, percentages, stuff like that. I'm not going to leak too much information. In the future, once things are in a better place, we'll have, accounts that we can use on stream and all that kind of stuff. I can be much more open with that information. But yeah. So, if we go to Bitcoin here, we have our kind of continuation ABC, which is what we took our trade off of. Now, I took it when we popped back down here. That's when I entered. And then we did have a little bit of momentary price action come back above the resistance of the A. And then floop, straight down So now we are in a pretty safe spot, I would have to say, where I feel quite comfortable with this being a continuation, at least down to our next macro local low here, which is going to be somewhere around, in my opinion, 76,500. We can go a little bit lower. We definitely have room all the way down to about 74,459, maybe even a tad bit lower. But yeah, I'm just playing with the market. I don't have a take profit for this. I don't have anything of the such at the moment. All right. My next position is going to be a hedge long off of 80,578. Give or take a couple dollars. All right. You know, if I don't catch it right away, then my entry might be a little bit above that. Or maybe I'm looking at the chart when it happens and my entry is right on target. And then from there, like, I don't expect, I mean, obviously it can't happen, but I do think we'll probably come back down to the 76, 75 range and then complete that structure. At that point, I would probably be looking for either a retest of 97,000 or somewhere in the $107,000 range. Because, you know, I'm not going to, like, you know, just say that we're immediately going to keep continuing to fall all the way down to 50K. I do think that it would be healthy with the market, especially the way that it acted during the bull market, that we would probably see something similar with the bear market, where instead of these nasty drops constantly, you know, back down to whatever our new set low would be, it's more than likely going to be consolidations, retests, ranges, which is not a bad thing. If you're playing on a medium-term time frame, you know, around like the 2 to 4 hour, there's going to be a lot of opportunities for a lot of back and forth price action if that is the case. So prepare yourselves, and when you see those ABCs that are not exactly super macro, but not micro either, take those positions because they are going to be supplemental to the overall of all of your accounts. And of course, when I'm here, I will spot them out and I'll kind of give my opinion on them as well. But, you know, if anything is to happen and I can't show up for a couple days and I miss something, make sure you're looking out for that stuff if you don't want to take advantage of it, because I do think it's going to be there. So, you know, once we kind of come back down and retest this next local low, I more than likely will be expecting at least a retest of, you know, 97 to 107, and maybe even a couple back and forths between those two levels. So it's going to be a little bit rocky. We'll see how things go. It might not play out in our favor the way that we exactly want it to, but that's how the market works. It's never going to give us exactly what we want. And when it does, you thank it. Okay, so we'll see. We will see. He said, damn, haven't watched you in a minute. You grew a stash and lost some weight. Yeah, we've been using a little bit of minoxidil on the beard. Can't say it's the best, but hey, at least it's not a shitty chin strap anymore. You know, I've only gone through like 2 bottles of that. I haven't like been using it religiously, but I plan on losing a lot more weight here. I think my scale's been broken for a couple months now, but I started intermittent fasting, and I would say at the moment I would expect myself to be somewhere in the low 190s, which I used to be in kind of like the mid 210s. I would say like 215, 214. So good bit of weight lost already. I would have to verify that, and I'll probably do that next time I go to the gym. They have a little weight thing there, but I don't want to strip down to my nipples in front of everybody, you know. Not until I earn that. Yeah, I would like to be. I'm kind of when it comes to like building muscle and all that stuff, I know that technically the most efficient way you can do it is build muscle and lose weight at the same time. Because obviously, like, as a, you know, somebody that hasn't worked out in a long time, you can do both. Once you get to a certain level, it has to be one or the other in some extent. But I don't know. I always had like the want to cut weight That way, when I'm building the muscle, I can visibly see it a lot easier, and it's more motivation. I said, don't strip down. I'll do it right now. Be prepared. Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'm very happy that things are moving in the direction that they are. See if I can do my little gambling of the day. Let's see if I get anything big here. Big money, no whammy. Free spins on this little website over here. I did hit $300 and something on a free spin the other day. Maybe a couple weeks ago. So every day I just go and do it. I only have like 7 or 8 of them. I'm not a religious gambler anymore. That he said build that muscle, dude. So what's the mid and long term macro outlook? I'm like long term, I am bearish. I think that the bear market low is going to be either 50,000 or it's going to be a slight dip down into the 30s and then a quick recovery back up to the 50Ks. Now, like the midterm, I think we're going back down and retesting 76,000, and then from there we will find support and we will range between either 96 and 107 down to 76K, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be a range. I think we might be in that area for quite a bit, and then we'll break back down to the bottom. But that's my opinion. Obviously, as things develop, I might, obviously I'm going to have a different outlook based on structure, but we don't really have that yet. As of right now, we have a bearish continuation pattern, but we are not below the macro local low, so I can't say that we're going to the next one with any certainty. All right, and we really didn't do much today. We got 57 cents. Let's go ahead and throw that 57 cents on a 20x upgrade for $11. Let's see. 4.5% chance. Not today. Okay. No luck. I go into work at 5 today. It's a short shift. I'll be out the door by 9 o'clock. Hopefully. But, yeah. How's everybody else's day going? What you guys planned? I know it's cold outside for most people, so nothing too exciting, I guess. I'm really looking forward to going ice skating. I haven't been ice skating since, I used to live in Fredericksburg, Virginia, and there used to be an ice skating rink, I would say up until 2012, 2011 maybe. Maybe even a little bit after that. I'm not quite sure. But then they turned it into a go-kart, track, and then the go-kart track failed, and then now it's just a church. So, and then I didn't have any other ice skating rinks within a reasonable distance, so I couldn't do it. But we got one here that I just found out about, which I've lived here for a couple years now, and I guess it just kind of flew by my radar. And I'm very excited to go because I don't like, to me, like walking, doing treadmill, stuff like that. It's very meditative, but obviously, is it fun? No. But ice skating, oh man, I could do 1,000 laps of ice skating and just have a blast, but also get that, that workout. I'm not a figure skater by any means, but I like to go fast. And I'll try it when I get there, but I used to be able to do the hockey stop where like you stick your leg out in front of you and then the ice flies up. But I would probably break something if I tried it again after so many years. So I'm gonna have to work my way back up to that. How are the gym sessions going, bro? Well, at the moment, so anything that has to do with like arms or anything like that, I do feel weird because the YMCA that I go to is packed. Like there's always somebody on every machine. And the problem is that like I'm not a huge gym person, and the only gym that I've like necessarily been to, like actually used, was Planet Fitness. And everything there is quite simplistic. Like they got like the little pictures and everything. And I would always go there at like 2 a.m. when there's nobody there. So like if I wanted to look like an idiot, I didn't feel any pressure. But when you have a packed gym and you have to kind of wait in line to use a machine almost, and then you look like an idiot, different story. So like I at home, you know, I do my squats, my push-ups, you know, my Russians. I really need to go buy a nice sturdy setup to do dips. I think dips are incredibly useful. Always been calisthenics focused. Unfortunately, I just don't have anything at the moment for that. And then when I get to the gym, that's when I'll do kind of like the basic stuff like leg press, whatever the machine I was using before was called, and then treadmill. And then when I do the treadmill, I'm not like a long distance runner. I just do very heavy incline at like a moderate speed for long distance. I feel like that for me, you know, gets my heart rate up. I feel like it's not kind of wussing out and going too slow and just kind of misusing the machine. And that's what I do. And I mean, I got some crazy calves. All right, I'll say that. My calves, beefy. Probably the best looking calves you've ever seen. No, not ice climbing, ice skating. That's what I, Oh, yeah. You said, forget ice skating, try ice climbing. What? You talking about, like, where am I going to go ice climbing at? Where do they have that at? The Himalayas? I don't think I can take a trip out there anytime soon. Maybe in the future. But by that time, might not, you know, I'll probably be old and gray. Pull up the chat here. There we go. That I'm in Cali, and I'm sure most of us isn't in the Arctic. I live in Italy near the mountains. Come and visit. Hey, I've gotten so many offers to come out to places. I just, you know, one day I will take somebody up on it. But you never know, man. I could show up. You're like, you're Kite Crypto? You ruined my life. And then boom, just pickaxe to the chest. All right, no one ever sees me again. Is trading what you want to do as your full-time career until you retire? At one point, I really did think that. So the original plan was, and I mean, this is still a long-term goal, but obviously we've hit kind of a road bump and have to get things back on track. The ultimate plan at the end of it all was to make a absurd amount of money, take that money and transfer it into a depending on the laws at the time, because we are moving in a certain direction, and by the time this would all be said and done, I would hope things would be in a better area, but sort of a psychedelic wellness retreat with professionals to guide people through that. And then if by that time it wasn't necessarily super duper legal, we would have to go an alternative route, which would be a dark retreat. Basically, I had an idea for a high-tech wellness center where you have these enclosed living spaces where there is zero light bleed. I'm talking zip, nada. And then they would be built off of, well, it would really suck for people that have like hearing inefficiencies, but everything would be set up with like high frequency voice commands to kind of guide you through this place to make sure that you didn't fall and break your face. You would be getting meals every day delivered to you, which you would have set up beforehand. If you chose that option, some people probably would like to fast. You would have access to snacks, showers, bed, all the good stuff, but there would be absolutely no light. And after a set amount of days, you're producing so much melatonin that it has to metabolize into something, and that something is a very strong psychedelic. And you would have an experience naturally, which there's no laws against that. So as long as you have the facility set up in order to do so, technically you could have a very nice time. So that would be the first route if things were not correct. And that would be my career past that point. Obviously, it would be very subtle. Like, I'm not doing it for a huge amount of profit, but obviously I would have to keep up with maintenance costs and everything like that. But that would be my ultimate goal. Now working with Firebirds, I do see, I've always known it, but like the way that my brain works, the socialization, the structure, everything like that, I do like a regular job to a certain extent, depending on what it is. But yeah, I'm not quite sure. I know trading is always going to be there for me because I'm incredibly good at it. And I've kind of structured my brain around it for so long that it's kind of hard to break from it. But we'll see. Where were you, Dennis? We were playing last night. We were playing CS. I only played 2 rounds because I didn't have a whole lot of time. But are you a frag head kite? Like collecting perfumes and stuff? No. I have 2 colognes. To me, the whole thing where like you have a whole shelf and you're spending so much money on like $200, $300 on these bottles that to me, like spending that much money on something that is like very finite doesn't feel good. Like if I went and spent $300 on a steak, I would feel like a piece of crap. Now, a nice steak, it's an enjoyable experience. But I'm not going to go spend $300 on it because it's going into my stomach. It's going to disappear. So what I like to do is if I do happen to be in a store and find a cologne that is, expensive, but I really like the smell of it, I'm going to go find a clone. Not cologne, clone. Because let's be honest, all right, the only people that are like, well, clones suck. So, depending on which ones you get, of course. But there's cologne clones out there that are like 99% exact because they put it in a machine, they make sure that everything is good to go. And then like instead of paying $300 an ounce, you're paying $25 to $30 an ounce. So I did that with Creed. Creed Aventus. I really like that one. So I picked up, let me pull up my Amazon here so I can figure out which one it is exactly here. It is... Sapil Intense Noir, which is a Creed clone. And dude, people tell me all the time. Like I clean up. All right. People tell me I smell good all the time. But let me bring it up for anybody that's interested in it because it is cheap and effective. I will say so myself. Yeah. It's this one right here. So, I mean, it's super cheap, but man, all the time, compliments after compliments. And it's also how you spray it too. You know, you don't. I see people, you know, they get their colognes, and you know, they'll put it on their wrists and they'll rub their wrists together. Don't do that. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're ruining it. Stop. Get some help. YouTube, Google. It's your friend. Try it. But yeah, name brand colognes, they are a ripoff. There's so like my nephew, he's a hype head. Okay, it's the same thing with the shoes. All right, where people will spend so much money on shoes because it's a status symbol. And once again, I lived my life that way for a very long period of time. I bought things because of how the way other people would identify, you know, me with these items. So my nephew, he's in that stage where like he'll buy colognes because they're expensive, because of the bottle. So that way he can bring the bottle to school and be like, I got this one. Which totally defeats the purpose. If the purpose is for you to smell nice, why does the bottle matter? You know, all that should matter with a cologne is how it smells and the performance. Okay, does it last long? Is it overpowering? You know, like that's all that should matter. What the bottle looks like and how much it costs, if that is a true virtue to you, I'm sorry, we are incompatible. Maybe if you were talking to a younger version of me, then yeah. But I tend to go on the lighter side. I do, you know, one spray on each wrist, one on the back of the neck. That's it. I don't go too crazy. There's some people that will do front of the chest, back of the neck, wrists, and then behind the ears. I feel like that's a little bit much. At that point, you're going to give some people some headaches. No, like Creed Aventus. How much is Creed? Creed Aventus. I know you can find it cheaper at different places. I don't trust that. Like these ones, I don't trust. And those 3.3. I would say yes. This one is probably the lowest you're gonna get it for, which is $250. And I am not paying $250 for a bottle of cologne. That's not happening. And then there is a cologne combining with your human scent after a shower. Haven't heard of that one. The Kite from 2021 and Kite in 2026 are quite opposite people in many aspects. Yeah. All right. That's why I got a little bit pissed at the comment the other day. He was like, aren't you in your 20s? Why are you acting like you know so much? And yeah, I don't know a lot. Okay, I still have many, many, many years. But the shit that I do know about, I know. Nobody's going to take that away from me. Nobody. My baby. Nobody's going to touch it. Yeah, I mean the cologne that I showed off there, if you want to give something new a try that one. I guarantee you. I think it's one of the best ones I've found that are cheap. And I would say it lasts 4 or 5 hours. I would say it starts out with like a lemon pineapple, and then it goes into like a leather amber after about an hour. That's like my favorite part of it. And then for about 2 to 3 hours, it will stay like that. And then it kind of goes into like a woodsy, like moss towards the end of it. Really enjoyable. Like I said, people tell me I smell great all the time. And I gatekeep at work, okay? Because when someone else has the same scent as you, it ruins it everything. You're supposed to have your flagship. When is the best time to buy a case hardened AK? Right now, okay? It's always right now. Case hardened AKs, they go up. They go up. They never go down. The best time to buy is now. HODL. Okay? That is my not financial advice, because that is probably not the correct answer, I will say. I'm not quite sure how everything works. I haven't like paid attention to the trends in the market for CS. And with, you know, them being able to make one simple update and change everything, well, can you really say that much anymore? You said, let me go ahead and copy and paste this here. If it is cheap enough, I will give it a try for sure here. Hey! So I actually looked at this one before I tried Intense Noir. So I'll have to give this one a try and see if it holds up. But yeah, I mean, $30. Well, yeah, we'll try it out. We'll see. Yeah, and it's a. Okay, what's the difference here? I think, okay, so that is the reason why I didn't go with it. It was an EDT, not an EDP, which these two are separate here. Because I work in a workplace environment, I don't want to constantly having to re-up. All right, I like to do it, you know, maybe 20-30 minutes before I go in the door. That way it's not too strong, and then have it last through my entire shift. I did see her trade up. Now, what phase Gamma Doppler did you get? Because I know it was a butterfly knife. Is it fact new? Fact new? Gamma Doppler. Right? Am I right on all that? And I know it has to be at least what, a phase 4, because it looks like an emerald, but I don't know if it actually is. If it is an emerald, oh, phase 1. Phase 1 also looks like an emerald, right? Or do I have them backwards? Oh, yeah, phase 1 is the one that I had for my M9 bayonet. I don't know why it's not popping up the picture of it here, but yeah, it's got a little bit more blue in it. But I like that. No such thing as an endgame knife. You know that. I know that. Everybody knows that. Can't fool me. They're gonna release a new knife someday, and you're gonna be like, I need it. Just wait until we get the throwing knife update. Game over. Shurikens are gonna come out. All the anime kids are going to lose their minds. Can you imagine how that would change the game? If you get headshot with a throwing knife? But, oh, I can imagine the game-winning clips of, like, some major. He runs out of bullets because he was spraying a wall too much. Has one chance. One shot. Throwing knife. He throws it in anticipation of a peek. The guy peeks. Boom. Dead. 6 seconds on the clock. Defuses the bomb. Oh. It would probably be Navi. Or Virtus Pro. Because they always do dumb things that seem to work out. I can... Heart rate just jumped thinking about it. Hello? Hello? Hi. What you up to? Oh, fantastic. You're on stream by now. Right now, by the way. Yeah, I'm streaming. Wait, what's... So you... They didn't force you to do it? Did she have a bad back? Is that why you didn't want to do it? Or she... Right now, 30. But I'll be finishing up here shortly. I'll give you a call back if you like. Did I just transfer to Bluetooth? All right, let me give you a call back in like 20 minutes here, if you want. Alrighty. Bye-bye. Can't not pick up the phone. That's the rules. No, that wasn't Monkey. You saying that would probably piss him off. Because he wishes it was him. You said Don's Davos dumped. Can we expect a rally after that trimmer? What? Do I not understand this? Was there an earthquake in a different country? If I switch accounts, is it going to ruin everything here? All my music is on a different account here. And I haven't updated my playlist in so long. I'm bad at adding songs to this playlist. But this it's still under Kite Crypto. I don't know exactly how you would find it, but anybody that like wanted the Spotify playlist from a long time ago, it's on YouTube Music now. Everything that I used to have is here, but a lot of the new songs I've found, I've always been that way. I never really saved anything to a playlist. I I find songs I like that I'm in the mood for, and I'll specifically search those songs up for however many weeks or so, and then I'll listen to them, and then they'll kind of go out of cycle. Um, how come you don't use the desktop trading view? I did for a long time, and I still have it downloaded. It's just kind of natural for me to use the the regular website. It just that's how I've always kind of done it. And to me, like with like hardware acceleration enabled, there's no like slowdown. Like it feels great to use. You know, some of the buttons and stuff are just in the place that I'm normally used to them being. So I don't know. Catch me on a different day. We'll have a different style as always. What's I mean, the one cool thing about having a playlist, let's say, is like the playlist generally will follow kind of like your emotional state as you go through it. So when I look at this playlist and I listen to a certain song, I know what I was going through during that period of time, which is pretty cool to have. It's almost like a book with, you know, like a whole thing. This one, really like this song was on repeat at one point. Get back to TA. Get back to work. I am sorry we got distracted there, but that's what we do. Okay, brain don't be braining sometimes. Hey, it looks like we're dumping a little bit further though. Up a little bit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All right. Give me a ticker. Give me a ticker. Give me something you want me to look at because you know me. I'm a Bitcoin guy. I really don't care much for much else at the moment in terms of market potential. So if you want me to look at something, let me know. Let's go check out. Let's go check out Sue. Okay. Someone brought up Sue the other day, and it had a good short position on it. Let's see if it reacted appropriately to what BTC did. We'll do Binance. Ooh. What a pool. All right. Whoever took that trade in chat, fantastic. A couple days ago before everything started dropping, someone came in and they said, hey, take a look at Sue. We had A, we had B, we had C. Your entry point would have been here. And yes, as always, it is quite rocky. Okay. But hey, depending on what that stop loss would have been, it would have had to been pretty hefty, all right? Unless you're willing to get stopped out a couple times. I'm always willing to get stopped out a couple times. That's how you make the best trades. But yeah, so far, off of that entry point, you're looking at a cool 18, 19%. So depending on which leverage you're on, you're sitting pretty. All right. Yeah, I mean, there's not much for me to say about Bitcoin anymore, right? I mean, we talked about the macro, high, low, what I'm looking for long term. I mean, I could sit here and stare at a 30-second chart and say something, but I mean, that's not going to make a difference, right? Yeah. just a little recap. We had the ABC structure on Bitcoin, which is what our current macro short is based off of. Originally, it was based off 124. Yep, 124.5. All right, so this was the original short position. We have since moved it and taken profit down to 94,000. I'm looking for a retest of either 76,500 or even a slight variation down to the $73, $74 range. Well, $74,000 range. And then that should form our larger A to B bullish structure. All right. Right here. Which that will be my next opportunity. Well, let's use a different color here. Let's use purple. There we go. All right. So that's where my long hedge is going to be from. And then what I'm expecting medium term. And when I say medium term, I mean probably like 3 months. Okay. That's what I mean by medium term now. Okay. So I'm looking after this is set in stone. If we do not break through our local low and fall through it, I'm more than likely going to be expecting a range to form, a consolidation range, probably lasting somewhere around 2-3 months. And we'll probably be coming back up to retest 98 or even possibly $97,000, and just going back and forth, back and forth. That's what I'm more than likely looking to see. And then at some point, I do think that range is going to fail, and it will be to the downside. I think our bear market local low is going to be somewhere around the $50,000 range. I did admit that I do see the potential, as always, because Bitcoin, and whether you want to be like, it's the market manipulation or whatever, there could be a momentary flash crash down to this local low here at about 38,000, and then a quick recovery back up to 50K. And I do think that's where the market will level out in the future for any new potential bull markets. Now, I do think this bull market has proved that things are a bit different and more long-term and spaced out and more methodical, that whatever happens in the future is going to be slower. It is going to be not as aggressive. And who am I to say? Maybe it will be. We never know. Are we going to get some sort of like media hype like we did in, 2016, 2017, and 2018? I don't know. All right. But that's kind of what I see from the future. So there you go. All right. There's not a whole lot to talk about. When you talk about macro and you really break things down simply and you can pre-plan, you don't have to sit there and stare at a chart all day. All right. I know exactly what I want to do and when I want to do it. And I have an idea of how the market's going to react. Obviously, things are going to change. Nothing is ever the way that you thought it's going to be. But I do have a generalized plan. And because of that, I can go, dick off and talk about some playlists here. Man, I haven't listened to some of these songs in so long. This is towards the end of the playlist here. Oh, this is a good one, yeah. Do a little bit more laundry today, and going into work. My big boss is back in town after his vacation, and looking forward to all that comes with that. A lot of people have an issue with them, but thankfully I grew up with not so savory people. So, in comparison, he's not that bad. Seems like Web 2 banks are building liquidity for a big pump. We'll see. If we were still hanging around 94,000, 95,000, I'll give it to you. You know, I was pretty, willing to say, like, yeah, we can go all the way up to $107,000. But what do you mean by big pump? When you say big pump, what number? Give me a number. I want to see if you're talking realism. Because when you call out these numbers, they have to be based on local highs, retests. All right, now if we're talking anything beyond our all-time high, and I can't really agree with you there. Now, that's me. That's Austin saying that. The trader understands that anything is possible. All right. And we would hope there would be a position I could be in to take advantage of said price action. But as of right now, there's nothing bullish on my chart besides the future potential bullish structure after a retest and confirmation of support. Because that's what a market likes to do. A market doesn't like to move willy-nilly. To like an outsider's perspective, it does. But in reality, a market is just verifying whether or not the price of an asset is correct. And you have to do so by going back down and retesting certain levels and making sure that they hold if you want to see anything higher. So I don't think we've done that yet. So for me to say big pump, we gotta find a blow off top at 120K. We'll see. We'll see. I don't think the Web 2 banks have enough money for that. I'm going to be honest. But, I'll keep an open mind. Off top, 120K. If you said blow off top, at like 107, 109, I'd give you credence. 120K to me, just at this moment in time. I think, okay, so once if we go back down and we find support off of $73, $75, $76,000, we confirm support there with the current structure that's forming, we can go all the way back up to the all-time high for all I care, because I'm going to have a long position as well. All right, so that also would make me feel better. But yeah, I think we need that macro confirmation if we want to get anywhere close to 120K. From where we're currently sitting, I don't think it happens. If we go back, and that's the thing that like a lot of people don't like to admit. In order for us to go to the higher levels, we first have to go lower. It's like a seesaw, okay? So, we both win in this situation. 176, then I will say our maximum distance would be the all-time high. Now, maybe this is the shortest bear market that's ever bear marketed. And then we just continue going up. Who knows? We'll see. I mean, this could all just be one massive ABC. And maybe we do put in one more higher high. Who am I to say? I do have to get some stuff started. Call some people back. And I once again am not going to make any hefty promises on whether or not I'm going to be here tomorrow. But actually, no, tomorrow for sure not. I work a double tomorrow. I'm going to be out the door by, 9:30 in the morning, and I will not be back in the door probably until 11 or 12 at night. So, yeah, I won't be here tomorrow. But I am off Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, so I do have the potential to stop in for a little bit. And of course, we're going to be snowed in probably Monday, if I had to guess. Zaman, what's going on? He said, welcome back, sir. Oh, don't call me sir. I already have such an official name. I don't need a sir. All right. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for showing up today. Quick stream. Obviously, things are working out in our favor. Hopefully, you guys took that short position, whether it was on an altcoin, whether it was on BTC. And I do think there's going to be continuation. That's my personal opinion. And as the current structure of the chart sits, that is my opinion as well, from a trader's perspective. Now, if we really go down to the smaller time frames, there's a little tiny ABC here, so we could see a little bit of a momentary retest within the range, and that range now being 94.5 to 80K. So sky's the limit to a certain extent for upwards potential. But I do think the main idea is for us to go back down and retest 74, 75, somewhere around there. But okay, I'll see you guys sometime this weekend, more than likely. And hopefully we got a little bit more to talk about. All right, let's go ahead and do the thing. Get out of here. All right, let's pick a little outro song. What we got from the depths of this playlist here. A lot of French music. That was my thing for a while. This one's short and sweet. I do like this one. All right, we'll do this one. All right, guys. I will see you when I see you. And I really do appreciate you guys. Go ahead and head on out. Bye!
You're not going through it. It's going through you. And once it's all gone, you'll become the new you. With a different perspective from the same point of view, fully unaffected by the old truth you once knew. connected at the roots, to the trunk, to the branches, to the leaves and the way they fly away in wind dances. A frantic seesaw, free fall in midair that represents the floating folly of us all being here. We are complicated creatures, huh?
Come away, 'cause I love my soul. A fighter in need, a lover restrained. I'm telling you it's not for gold. Come away, 'cause I know I won't. The fire in me, the trouble I see. Heaven, won't you let me go? This is it, apocalypse. I feel you now. I feel you now. This is it, apocalypse. Don't fear me now. Don't fear me now. I'm dreaming up a start a fire. I'm dreaming up a start a fire.
When it's all said and done, and when the wolves return to hunt, and for the taste you'll chase.